Mr. Governor, Mr. Chief Justice, Governor's Cabinet Secretaries, distinguished electors, ladies and gentlemen, I am Jean Cunningham, the Chair of the State Board of Elections, and on behalf of our Vice Chair, Harold Payan, and the Secretary of the Board, Nancy Rodriguez, I am pleased to call to order the 2008 convening of electors for President and Vice President for the United States of America for the Commonwealth of Virginia. I ask that you please turn off your electronic cell phones and any equipment. You are permitted to use cameras, but not flashes during the session. A recording of this session will be available by the end of the week on YouTube through the Virginia Government channel. I am honored at this time to present to this gathering on this historic occasion the Governor of Virginia, the Honorable Timothy M. Kaine.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Please be seated. Madam Chair, thank you for the introduction, and to Harold Payan and Nancy Rodriguez, all three of the members of the State Board of Elections, congratulations for your work under very challenging circumstances to get to this day. Please extend my congratulations also to the staff of the State Board of Elections, and I also extend them to the registrars and employees of registrars' offices across the Commonwealth. To the electors, good afternoon. Today is an important day for Virginia and for our nation, and I'm glad to be with you. We meet in the capital of Virginia. This building was designed by Thomas Jefferson, a Virginia governor and president who wrote into the Declaration of Independence the great truth that all are created equal. Another president who once visited this building, Abraham Lincoln, declared that those simple words of Thomas Jefferson's were the single proposition on which this nation was founded. Jefferson designed our capital to embody that truth and to serve as a temple of democracy sitting on a hill bright and visible to all. This building is the home of the Virginia General Assembly that first met on Jamestown Island in 1619. On that same tiny island, in that same year, Africans were brought to North America in servitude for the first time. In this building, and on this day, December 15th, the General Assembly ratified the Bill of Rights to the United States Constitution in 1791. The Virginia vote meant that enough states had ratified the Bill of Rights so that it would become formally a part of our Constitution. For that reason, December 15th is celebrated across our country as Bill of Rights Day. For a time, this building was the capital of the Confederate States of America, the federal legislature of a nation formed in part to preserve the institution of slavery. This building was the seat of efforts to write a state constitution in 1902 to disenfranchise Virginians of African descent who had gained political rights during Reconstruction. It also served as the forum for designing legal strategies of massive resistance to oppose the integration of schools and other public facilities during the 1950s. But this building also witnessed an inauguration in 1970 where a governor pledged to make Virginia a model of race relations. It saw the writing of a new state constitution guaranteeing the equality of all and the passage of the first fair housing law in the South. And it was here in this building that the grandson of a slave was inaugurated as governor in 1990, declaring himself proudly to be a son of Virginia. Today, this building is home to another historic occasion: the meeting of presidential electors to cast Virginia's electoral votes for Barack Obama and Joseph Biden as President and Vice President of the United States. Now, each such election and each such meeting is important. But today, in a special way, we celebrate the slow but steady maturation of the noble human project begun on Jamestown Island 401 years ago. We rejoice in the moral power that has bent institutions, traditions, behavior, and hearts ever closer to the equality principle. And we proclaim our pride in Virginia's role as a leader among states. Your role as electors in this historic day makes you part of a grand tradition. The Founding Fathers created the College of Electors as a compromise between election of the President by popular vote and by appointment of Congress. The system was based on systems previously used in the Holy Roman Empire. Nearly 700 constitutional amendments pertaining to the Electoral College have been proposed by Congress since our Constitution was drafted, but the system remains basically intact. The number of electoral votes that a state has is determined by how many U.S. House representatives and senators it has. If no candidate receives a majority of electoral votes, the House of Representatives selects the president, and the Senate selects the vice president. 2 presidents have been elected by the House of Representatives because no candidate received a majority of electoral votes: Thomas Jefferson in 1800 and John Quincy Adams in 1824. Only 1 vice president was elected by the Senate, and Virginians played an ignominious role. In 1836, the Virginia electors refused to vote for Richard Johnson as vice president to Martin Van Buren. So Johnson didn't receive a majority of electoral votes. That problem has been fixed. Now, under state law, you electors must vote for the candidates to whom you are pledged or face legal penalties. I'm sure I didn't have to remind anyone of that. Each of you is here because you embrace your civic duties in this democracy. You come from all parts of the state, from all walks of life, and you stand today as trusted representatives of the 3.7 million Virginians who cast their ballots on November 4. More people participated in this presidential election than in any in our nation's history. Young people voted in record numbers. And people of all ages, from 18 to 100, cast their votes for the first time this year. Whatever our political views, today we sense in a deep way that democracy is reinvigorated, that we have both the right and the obligation to participate, and that our destiny is truly of our own making. There is no problem facing us that cannot be overcome if the great reservoir of talent in Virginia and America is fully engaged. Our successes and failures have always depended on whether we allow all to bring their talents to serve this nation. This election again demonstrates the awesome power of Jefferson's truth and the ever-growing commitment of Americans to welcome all to the blessings and responsibilities of complete and equal citizenship. God bless each of you God bless our new President and Vice President. God bless our Commonwealth and country. This temple of democracy shines